Hey everybody, Josh Sigurdson of World Alternative Media here, and this is an emergency message from us here at WAM. I think it's very important that people understand that we as independent media, especially not mainstream alternative media, have to sacrifice a lot to be able to continue to get that truth out there. I've been offered $1 million in the past few years several times for year contracts to say what they want me to say, and unfortunately, for my pocketbook, it's obviously a big no for me. I'm not going to do that. I want to be able to sleep at night. I started this years ago, knowing that, I don't mind if I have to sleep on a park bench. I am going to tell the truth at any cost to my own well being. And unfortunately, that has come recently as I've seen a 90% decrease in overall revenue since January. And I was full on bankruptcy at the time because we have been struggling for about the last 2 years now. Lawsuits, we've been sabotaged. We've seen multiple issues come up with our past documentary, which we've been working on, but we got screwed over big time. It's hard to really put it into a good perspective. I had medical issues, and then of course, recently with Donald Trump getting in, people don't like that I'm consistent, and I continue to call out. It doesn't matter who's in office. I will continue to call out the person in office for things that they're doing that are not consistent with the ideas of freedom, which I've been doing. And because of that, I've seen a big backlash from that. Before I get into it more, I want to let people know that we have ways that you can help keep us alive because we are on the verge of having to shut down. Like, I did this for years for no money. And, I slept on couches. I had to do what I had to do. And then, we made some money over a period of time. And then it got good for a very short period of time. Then we got taken down by YouTube. And then I had to start all over again, which I wasn't afraid to do. Then we started building up again. And now alternative platforms are shutting down. We have ways that you can help support us so we can continue doing this. We have gogetfunding.com, Patreon, and Subscribestar. Anything really helps. And thank you so much to those who have donated thus far. People will say, hey, you have a lot of money in that Go Get Funding account. Yes, that's over multiple years. I want to make it clear that this is several years old. And so I mean, everyone that has donated to that has kept us up and running. They're the heartbeat of independent media. But I want to make it clear that I tried to create a new one. And Go Get Funding wouldn't let me create a new donation page. They turn it down for whatever reason. I'm not sure why. But we do have a page. I hate doing this. I really do. But it's the only way we can stay alive. Because without your help, we end up shriveling up and dying as an alternative media platform that is honestly telling the truth and not taking the opportunities that the mainstream alternative media is taking. Patreon Subscribestar, if you pledge $4.99 a month or more, you will get exclusive content. We also have an X account at World Alt Media, which you can subscribe on for $5 a month for exclusive content. We have a PayPal address called Ancient Wonders Television at gmail.com. And we have a Bitcoin address that you could scan on the screen. We have the address in the description. And of course, we have our Cointree link in the description where you can donate in multiple different cryptocurrencies if you please, including privacy coins. So we appreciate that. Look, we have been dealing with a lot. And since Trump got in, most people really started sitting on their hands with affiliates. Now, we like to give solutions. We don't just take money from people to say things. We want you guys to get the truth, and we want you guys to have the real world solutions. People call us negative, black pilled, and unfortunately, most of what we say comes true because, of course, it's not like we're, fortune tellers here. It's that we look at what the World Economic Forum says they're going to do. We look at what these governments around the world say they're going to do. We see the patterns. We see these things getting brought into action. And we say, hey, pretty obvious. These things go together. This is where we're going. And we know history. I've done, I think, 4,500 to 5,000 videos. I'm in that line because depending on what platform you look at, I have a lot on this one, not as many on that one. But we've done countless documentaries. We've traveled to 44 countries, documenting things on the ground. I can't even afford rent now. I can't barely afford food right now, but I continue doing this, and it's been big. It's hurt the overall psyche of me a little bit because it's frustrating seeing, these alternative medias, which we recently talked about, meeting with Netanyahu, taking the opportunities, doing what they say, and then the alternative media platforms. And I do not include BitChute in that because BitChute has been very supportive of us, and I really appreciate what Ray over at BitChute does. But I mean, there have been a lot of alternative platforms that are doing the same thing that YouTube had once done to us. YouTube, we went from 75,000 to 100,000 views per video. And then we were blowing up in subscribers. We were the fastest growing independent media in the world at one point. And then we saw that collapse, went off a cliff. We interviewed David Icke, and we saw basically a 95 to 98% drop in viewership. We were down to 2,000 views per video. And, on average, that's a huge drop. We witnessed demonetization, and then we got banned from YouTube despite never, ever having broken any of the terms of service or having any strikes on our account. We have an account on YouTube called Josh Sigurdson now that he could check out, but I mean, it doesn't do that well. Same with our channel, Ancient Wonders, which you can also find on YouTube, has a photo of my face. Don't go to the other guys, by the way. Anyway, the point is, we've tried, but we had to start all over again, and it was on BitChute and Rumble and Odyssey and Brighteon and Band.video and of course now on X more so than before. And what bothers me is that several of these alternative sites have recently deep-sixed our ability to reach people. For example, on Rumble, we got about 8,000 subscribers on Rumble in the first 2 months that we got on there. And then in the 5 years since, we've seen a drop of about in viewership, we're seeing a massive drop, but we've only seen it go to 16,000 followers on there since then. And we post videos every single day, and the views aren't counted on our videos usually until the next day. So we're never caught on in the algorithm. We also, of course, see other websites that I won't name at the moment, but I have heavily documented this for later events if I have to come out about this kind of stuff, which is really unfortunate. There's other sites in the alternative media universe where I've been posting on it, and I was getting the same thing as YouTube, 75,000 to 100,000 views per video. And then suddenly seeing a dip of like 98% in the viewership, exactly as we saw on YouTube. On top of that, no one is looking at solutions. So no one's really getting buying through affiliates. So essentially those solutions are collapsing. People are waiting for the government to save them. And people are angry at me for being so-called negative for just telling the truth. I said RFK Jr. would come in and say that you need to get these vaccines. And now he's saying that. I was saying that it was an Israel first cabinet, and now they're spending the biggest budget in U.S. history on defense in order to go to war for Israel. I say these things, people don't listen, and people say that I am black pilled and that I'm negative. And I just don't understand really the mindset of it, because it's the same thing I've been saying since, for 19 years. I called out Obama. I called out Bush before that, Obama. Of course, I called out Trump. Then I called out Biden. Then I call out Trump again. Those who are in office are puppets. Regardless of what they say on the global stage, they might sound different. They might sound based or whatever. Reality is different. There's a shadow government in charge. And continuing to say that, this time people want everything to be different, and suddenly elections are real, they're not fake, and everything is all rosy. Don't worry about it. Everything's going to be fine. That is a mindset that is most dangerous. And of course, I continue to call that out. And then I see the alternative media side of things treat me the same as the mainstream did before. And by the way, no one watches mainstream media anymore. People watch alternative media. And now we see these alternative media opportunists that make millions of dollars, are propped up in algorithms across the board, are still on YouTube, many of them. And of course, they're meeting with world leaders and palling around with them. And I've met everyone in alternative media. I've worked with most of them. I know these people, and I know that what we're seeing is opportunism and is showing their true colors. I refuse to bow down. I've been attacked. My life has gone to shit the last couple of years. I'll be entirely honest. I've lost most of what I have established over the years, and I've become very unpopular. And I don't care, because I will always tell the truth. It is what I know I was born to do. And people will say, well, why don't you just quit and go get some job somewhere, minimum wage job somewhere? I'm not going to do that. I was born to do this. Okay. And I understand there's sacrifices to be made there. And I know that by people offering me $1 million and me saying no to them, I am just burying myself more. And then me not going along with the current narrative is burying me more. And, people like David Icke are doing the same thing. They're speaking out and they spend basically all the money they make back on marketing their own stuff again, like books and shows. And then they sell out, like in Ike's case, sold out Wembley Stadium. He put all that money back into self-publishing books and all this kind of stuff. And people attack him for it. They don't understand that he's living in a small apartment. They don't understand that I'm living in a small place. They don't understand that I'm trying my best to continue to get information out and warn the public of what's to come. And I'm considered negative for that, but it's all just for being consistent. And I will always be consistent. I will never shut up. No one's ever going to stop me unless I'm dead. And as far as I'm concerned, I will go to my last moment I can breathe doing this. And again, it's unfortunate that I'm in this situation where I have to do a video like this again. It's been about a year and a bit since I last had to do a video like this, and it's gone so much more downhill since. And in general, I mean, alternative media, real grassroots alternative media is almost dead in the water right now, despite this awakening, because it's called a limited hangout. They tell you part of the truth, but not the entirety of the truth in order to misdirect you from it. So you have one row going to mainstream narratives, and then the alternative media narrative, which then comes all together at the end. Instead of going outside of that box, it keeps you in that cycle. And that's what we're witnessing right now. And it's a very unfortunate thing that I have to come out and say these things. Because again, 90% decrease in revenue since January, where I was already bankrupt and barely making it. I have no idea how I'm going to pay for my living situation. I have less than what's necessary by far. And I am facing like a massive amount of debt for trying to pay for things in my life, like food, basic things, rent, things that I can use so I can do videos for you guys. And again, in that, I mean, I really don't know what I'm going to do if I don't raise about 10 grand, because I have a bunch of things I have to pay back. And then I need to be able to pay ahead for things so that we can continue getting this content out. And it is what it is. I mean, like I said before, I started this not expecting to make any money many years ago, 13 years ago, 12, 13 years ago, starting WAM. I went to activist events. I just went out, asked people questions, wanted to learn, wanted to get my information out that I knew about. And I never made any monetization money off of it until another person in alternative media was like, dude, it's 2016. You should start doing that. So I started, and then I got shut down a couple years later. And then I started affiliates, and now those are way down because no one wants to actually look at real solutions. I know some do, but generally most aren't. They're sitting on their hands. And unfortunately, that has led me to this position where I'm in right now, where I have to do this kind of video. And it sucks. I hate doing it. I hate asking people for money. And by the way, if you are having struggles in your own life, please do not send anything. I don't want to pile on top of your troubles. If anyone can support in any way possible, we truly, truly appreciate it. And we couldn't survive without you. And thank you to those who have, whether in person or whether online. You guys, it means a lot to us. And obviously, we're going to keep grinding and getting this information out as we do every single day. I think we've gotten 16 or 17 videos out in April so far, and it's only the 13th as I record this. So it's not like it's lack of content here or lack of trying. The more we try, the less we seem to make, but it's more important that we get new information out as we see it happen and warn people about the historical pretexts of this, where we see that pretext turn into this other thing later on down the road that unfortunately hurts you and your family and your friends and helps and hurts the world around us. And it's important to get that information out. But alas, mainstream alternative media gets the opportunities. For a while, alternative media was blowing up, and then they shanghaied it and turned it into an opportunist jerk-off fest for a bunch of shills. And I've worked with a lot of those shills before I realized they were shills. And now I'm in this position where I refuse to, because out of principle, no one should bow to the new narratives. I refuse to, and for that reason, I'm in this situation. So as a man, last thing I want to do, making a video like this. But we do have options below if you want to help support us. We have gogetfunding.com. We have Patreon. We have Subscribestar. We have, again, I'll bring it up here. We have our Bitcoin address here, which you could scan on the screen, or you could check out in the description here. That really helps, as well as our Cointree link with a bunch of different cryptocurrencies that you could donate in if you please, including privacy coins. And we have that PayPal address, ancientwonderstelevision@gmail.com. So we appreciate any donations going there. We have a lot of affiliates, a lot of things that you can do to help support us. But again, you guys are the heartbeat of independent media. And thank you in the last, I believe, 3 or so years to those of you who have helped donate to our Go Get funding. And again, that money has kept us up and running in this time period. Unfortunately, we need to raise the ante a bit and get it up another 10 grand to pay off the debts and to face off against the bankruptcy we're constantly facing. Every time we start getting somewhere and pulling away from it, they pull us back in. And that's part of the psychological warfare as well. They're trying to make me paranoid. They're trying to make me depressed. They're trying to make me stop doing what I'm doing. And I will never stop. I will sleep on benches again in the future if I have to. And of course, that is the role that I feel is God-given. I don't know why I wake up in the morning. I know I have to do this. If I take a day off, I lose my mind. No matter how relaxing situation might be, I will be like, I need to get back to work. I need to be researching. I need to be working on this because we have a lot to fight back against. So help fund us if you can. We truly, truly, truly appreciate anything you guys can do to help keep us up and running. And of course, we will be back with much more. We have so much more coming up. We have huge interviews, by the way, that we haven't announced yet. So I'm looking forward to that. And of course, as always, keep checking in. Make sure to hit that like button, share on social media, hit the notification bell, hit subscribe if you have not yet already. Find us on all these platforms: TikTok, Instagram, World Alternative Media. Of course, we're on things like Telegram, Rockfin, Band.video, BitChute, Odyssey, Rumble, and Brighteon at World Alternative Media, Hive, Steemit, Vigilante.tv at Josh Sigurdson. All of these guys, thank you to those of you out there that continue to follow us and help support us. Share our content, whatever you can do. Until next time, as always, this is Josh Sigurdson signing out from World Alternative Media. Find the truth, be the change.